Namaste to one and all. Myself, Dr. Shivanand Ankledi, second year PG scholar, Department of Ayurveda Samhita and Siddhanta from Alvas Ayurveda College, Mudugidere. Today I am going to present my topic that is harnessing the power of manas, Indian knowledge traditions for disease prevention and control under the valuable guidance of Dr. Soumya Saraswati ma'am, Professor and HOD from the department. Today I am going to present this topic under the sub-theme Significance of Indian knowledge systems in the present times. These are my contents. Coming to the introduction, Ayurveda is one of the world's most ancient Indian knowledge systems rooted in the Atharva Veda, not limited to the treatment, teaches a holistic way of living, balance of Sharira, Manas, Indriya, and Atma. Its aim is to attainment of four Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. It is structured on the three Sutra principles that is Hetu, Linga, and Aushadha. And we coming to the WHO's definition of health, that is, health is state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Here, how the mental health is given importance. In Ayurveda, also, Manas is a vital component of Ayu, defined as the union of Sharira, Indriya, Sattva, and Atma. Manas is one of the Karana Dravya responsible for the perception of memory and decision making. When balanced with Sattva, it supports the mental, physical, but when it disturbed by the rajas and tamas, it leads to the manasika vadi like anxiety or delusion. And according to Sushrita, diseases are classified into Sharirika, Manasika, Agantuja, and Swabhavika, showing the close link between the body and mind. Ayurveda also emphasizes controlling Dharaniya Vegas, mental urges such as anger, greed, fear, and jealousy, which, if unchecked, can disturb the manas and cause disease. Modern relevance with a 1 in 8 people worldwide and 10.6% adults in the India suffering mental health issues, Ayurveda offers timeless preventive and promotive strategies for well-being. Thus, Manas is the bridge between body and soul, and its balance is essential for total health. And Trivida Hetu, that is, Ayurveda is based on three principles, that is Hetu, Linga, Aushadha. In that Hetu, again classified into Asatmindriya Samyoga, Prajnaparada, and Parinama. In that Prajnaparada, misuse of the intellect, memory, or restraint disturbs all the doshas. Manas also influenced by these factors leads to diseases. And coming to the concept of manas, let us know about the manas, that is coming to Nirukti definition, manyate avabudhyate anina iti manaha, which gives the knowledge is known as manas. The manas paryaya are chittam tu cheto hridayam santvam rut manasam manaha. According to Amarakosh, manas is also called as sattva or atindriya. Coming to the Manas Lakshana, that is, Manas is established by the Dhanasya Bhava and Abhava, that is, presence or the absence of knowledge. With the help of Atma, Manas, Indriya, and Indriya Artha, the Dana is attained. The Indriyas are capable of perceiving their respective objects only in the presence of Manas. Coming to the manoguna, that is attributes of manas, that is anutvam cha ekatvam, dauguno, manasau smrito. Anutva and ekatva. Anutva means minute and atomic in nature, and ekatva, oneness. Other gunas include sankhya, one in number, parimana, anutva, that is minute in nature, prutakva, different from others and unique. Samyoga and vibhanga, with indriyas conjunction or with self. Paratva and aparatva, superior than others, inferior than self. Sanskara, that is tendency of action. Because of its anutva and vegatva, its action is noted. Chanchalam hi manaha. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says that chanchalatva of manas. Manas makes one feel that many perceptions are made at the same time, thus proving that manas is many in number. Manas associates with one Indriya only at a time. To substantiate this theory, Chakrapani has said three Nyayas, that are Utpala Shatapatra Veda Nyaya, Alata Chakra Darshana Nyaya, and Dirgha Shashkuli Nyaya. We'll see one by one. Utpala Shatapatra Veda Nyaya explains that 100 Utpala leaves are placed one over the other, and the quick succession of the needle is pierced into the leaves. That needle passes through 100 leaves one by one, appears as if all are pierced together. Manas is a single, not in many. In the similar way, it associates with the Indriyas one at a time. Looks like a simultaneous activity, but it is sequential. Alata Chakra Darshanaya, that a bar of a wood rotated very fast. It looks like a wheel. Similarly, the Manas, which is one in nature, wanders through the body like a wheel, associating with the Indriyas. And Dirgha Shashkulinaya, at the person eats the Shashkuli, that is Chakli. He perceives the sound through the Shotrendriya, shape through the Chakshurendriya, etc. All these types of perceptions are due to the fast movement of the manas in the body. They appear to be acting simultaneously, but in fact, There is a very small time gap between each perception. And manah karma, that is action of the mind, it is said that Indriya Abhigraha Karma Manasa Swasya Nigraha. That is Indriya Abhigraha means control the Indriyas. Swasya Nigraha means control oneself. As the Manas has control over the Indriya, it decides the pros and cons, merits and demerits of the particular object. The mind is the one responsible for self-control. Then Uho Visharasya Tatha Param Buddhi Pravartate. After Uha and Vichara, the Buddhi intellects, acts and determines what to do and what not to do, what is left and what is held. And mana vishayani are objects of the manas, that is chintam vicharam uascha deyam sankalpam evacha. Yat kinchit manaso gneyam tat sarvam hi artha sanyakam. Chinta here first manas thinks whether to be done or what to be done or what not to be done. Then vichara, manas examines or inquires about pros and cons. Then uha, the manas imagines hypothetically and logically. Deya, that manas concentrates on a particular object. Then coming to the sankalpa, manas determines the merits and demerits. And other manovishayas include Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasagandha, along with the Indriya Vishayas. Chinta, Vichara, they are not perceivable through the Indriyas. As Mana perceives the Indriya Atita Vishaya, that is, it is called as Atindriya. And Manas is also called Ubhayendriya because it functions with the both Jnanindriya and Karmendriya. And Manasthana, that's the location or seat of the Manas said in Ayurveda. That is, according to Charaka, he said Hridaya is the sthana of Manas. And according to Sushruta, he also says heart is the seat of mind and intellect. And Ashtanga Hridaya, also he explains Sattvadidhama Hridayam Stanoraha Koshtamadhyakam. Then coming to the Yoga Sutra, Manas is situated in the heart, he self explains. Then in Bhagavad Gita, it is advised to close all the doors of the mind and to fix the mind in the heart. This means that the natural abode of the mind is the heart. In Veda Samhita Unmada Adhikara, they have said, according to Veda, they said that the Manas is in between Shiras and Talu, that is head and palate. And Charak also says the head is the sthana, location for all the indriyas, including the manas. Coming to the Manoveda based on three guna that are Sattva, Raja and Tama. Manas with the Sattva guna, the person performs Satya, Pavitra, Tapas, Svadhyaya, Ishvara, Chintana, etc. Manas with the Rajoguna, the person develops the Kama, Krodha, Irsha, Dvesha, Lobha, etc. Manas with the Tamoguna, the person with the Moha, Shoka, Alasya, Ajnana, etc. As per Ayurveda, the Satvika Manas is said to be healthy, and Rajasika and Tamasika are considered as the Manasika doshas. And they have explained about Dharaniya Vegas, that are suppressible urges related to manas by different authors. According to Acharya Charaka, he emphasizes the person who is Buddhiman, who practices the mental discipline by consciously controlling certain harmful mental urges. These urges, if followed to dominate, can disturb the harmony of manas and eventually cause imbalances in Sharira, that are Lobha, Shoka, Bhaya, Krodha, etc. Even Sushruta, while explaining Vadi Bheda, he also explained about the Manasastu, Kama, Krodha, Shoka, Bhaya, Harsha, Vishada, etc. are the urges which are identified under Icha and Dvesha are the root cause for the mental agitation. And in Ashtanga Hridaya, the Vagbhata Acharya explains the one who wishes for well-being both in this iha and preta, that is, in this life and after this life also, should always restrain the urges of the lobha, irsha, dvesha, matsarya, raga, etc. And similar passion being master of the jitendriya. Acharya adds a spiritual dimension to the psychological discipline described earlier. Here, the purpose of controlling mental urges is not only to maintain ayusha, but also to ensure spiritual progress. Let us see one by one. That is Lobha, greed. Lobha means desire to get in properties. For example, Duryodhana, he wanted the entire kingdom and was not satisfied even with his share. His greed led to a war and destruction. Coming to the shoka, grief, sorrow, emotion, or loss of a son, they explain like this. Dhritarashtra, blinded by grief over his son's destiny and attachment, he couldn't never act justly as a king. And bhaya, that is fear. For example, thought of harming agent. The bhaya means worrying due to the thought of harming agent. Karna, despite being a brave, he lived in the fear of his true identity being exposed to Parashurama during his disguise as a Brahmana. This fear made him to lose the trust of Guru. Krodha, that is anger. For example, Ashwatthama, his uncontrolled anger after his father's death led to heinous acts like attacking the Pandavas camp at night and killing the innocent sons of the Pandavas. Mana, ego, that is refers to feeling of elevation by assuming prevailing and non-existent merits in oneself. Example, Bhishma. Though noble, his excessive pride in his vow and his loyalty to the throne, even when it meant standing with the adharma, caused great harm. Nairlacha, that is shamelessness. Example, Shakuni. His cunning and deceit had no moral bonds. He shamed openly without shame, especially in the dice game and Draupadi's humiliation. And Irsha, jealousy. Again, Duryodhana, his envy of the Pandavas' prosperity and honor drove his actions. He couldn't tolerate their success. Coming to the Atiraga, that is excessive attachment. For example, Gandhari, her blindfold symbolized her extreme attachment to her husband and sons, even when she knew they were wrong. Abhidya means refers to the thought of harming others or desire towards others' property. Amba as a reborn as a Shikandini, harbored deep desire for revenge and resolution, driven by obsessive desire to make a Bhishma pay for her past. These are other Vegas, including Dainya, Matsarya, Harsha, Kama, etc. Then, why to control these Vegas? In this present day busy lifestyle, constant stress, occupational stress, competition, and overindulgence often leads to individuals to ignore the restraint of the Dharaniya Vegas, such as anger, greed, fear, and desire. The unchecked expression of these urges result in emotional instability, anxiety, depression, and burnout. Lack of mental discipline and neglect of the self-restraint disturb the balance of manas, ultimately contributing to the rising burden of lifestyle related mental disorders. Then, how we can control through Ayurveda? They have explained three treatment modalities, including Daya Vipasharya, Yukti Vipasharya, Sattva To control the manas, one of the best treatment is Sattva That is explained by Charaka Acharya. Punarahitebhyo Artebhyo Manonigraha refers to the management of diseases by controlling the mind from unwholesome objects is known as Sattva and they have explained also Manaso Dhyana Vijnana Dhairya Smriti Samadhi. That is a general line of treatment for the Mansika doshas. That is, Jnanam means Adhyatma Jnanam, that is spiritual knowledge. Vijnanam means Shastra Jnana, that is scriptural knowledge. And Dhairyam Anunatis Chetasaha, the firmness or calmness of the mind. Smriti Anubhutartha Smaranam. Smriti means recollection of previous experiences. And Samadhi Vishayebhyo Nivattatmani Manaso Niyamanam. That Samadhi means control over the mind by non-deviation towards the external affairs. By following these steps, one can control the manas. Preventive measures for the psychic disorders that they have explained about proper use of senses, that is Satma Indriyartha Samyoga, harmonious and appropriate utilization of sense organs with their respective objects. Coming to the discrimination, every action should be initiated only after reflection on what is wholesome and unwholesome. Right conduct, that is Hita Pravrutti and Ahita Pravrutti, engaging in the beneficial actions, avoiding the harmful actions and avoid the pradnaparada, that is error of judgment or misuse of intellect, considered the root of many disorders. Then prevent or avoid the improper excessive contact of senses with their objects. Context-based management, if disorders manifest, tailor the treatment considering desha, kala, and atma guna. Then Sadvrutta related to self-control. In that only core principle is that self-control ensures harmony of the body, mind, and senses. Discipline in the duty. Do not postpone the responsibility unnecessarily. Procrastination and weakens the determination. Thoughtful action, that perform the task only after examining consequences, appropriateness, and ethics. Restraint of the senses. Avoid slavery to desires. And steady mind, that is prevent fickleness, that is chanchalata, when disturb clarity and decision making. Balanced use of the intellect and senses. Avoid excessive sensory input or mental strain, that is prevents fatigue. Avoid over delaying action due to the fear or over analyzing leads to indecision. Emotional regulation. Do not act under the extreme anger or intoxication of joy. Avoid prolonged grief, excessive pride or sorrow. All disturb mental stability. They explained about sadrutta, that is related to self-control. That reducing the attachment and aversion, overcome raga and dvesha, the root of suffering. Faith in the cause and effect, accept the definite relation of actions and results. Then engage regularly in the virtuous deeds that include yajna, charity, ethical conduct, with a faith in the karma, not immediate results. According to modern psychiatry, it focuses on regulation of mind and control of the harmful urges that uses cognitive behavioral methods, mindfulness practice, then medications, pharmacological support, aims to control impulses like anger, fear, and excessive desire. Even the Ayurveda parallelly says that Sattva Vajra Chikitsa, strengthening the mind and restraining the unwholesome urges for mental balance. Coming to the discussion, true mental health, that is harmony of thoughts, emotions, and senses. Dharanya Vega, that are must be controlled to safeguard the psychological and physiological stability. Origin of impulses, that is Icha and Dvesha, are the two we have to maintain. Unchecked impulses lead to that clouding of buddhi, disturbance of the smriti, weakening of the dhriti, that result in pradnaparada, a root cause for disease. And overindulgence or overstimulation of the anendriya sense organs, binding mind to externals, blocking inner focus. And restraint and practice enhances the sattva, reduces the rajas and tamas. Then there will be outcome that is prevents psychological distress, preserves health, and supports spiritual progress. In Bhagavad Gita, they have explained that while considering the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. From anger, delusion arises. From the delusion, person will be in the confusion. Intelligence is lost. Then, when intelligence is lost, one again falls into the material pull. So, to control this, the Krishna says, one who restrains his senses and fixes his consciousness upon him is known as the man of steady intelligence. And in Kathopanishad also they explains that they given the simile that Atmanam Ratinam Vidhi. Atma refers to the Ratha and Atma refers to the charioteer and Sharira refers to the Ratha and Buddhim to Sarathim Vidhim, that is Buddhi refers to the Sarathi who is controlling the Ratha, and all the five horses are said to be the sense organs. Then who controls the sense organs, the buddhi, definitely there will be a good journey will begins. So one have to control the manas to control the buddhi. And in Ashtanga Sangraha, the Vruddhavagvata have beautifully explained about in the first shloka that service to the Lord Buddha, who with his mystic spells of the power of consciousness specified the mind which is horrible serpent. Here he correlated the mind to the horrible serpent that is lengthy with a never-ending greed, having head of unreal ideologies, armed with a fluctuating hood of spite, venomous with the lust and hatred, with the fangs of suspicion and furious eyes of passion, with its face of delusion, and which lies somewhere in the cavernous confines of one's own body. And coming to the conclusion, holistic view of mental health is not just absence of disease, but balances of thought, emotion, and behavior under Sattva-guna, which can be given by Ayurveda also. Role of manas acts as a regulator between indriya and buddhi. Imbalances leads to mental as well as physical illness. And prajnaparada, that is intellectual error, considered the root cause of the diseases, occurs when one knowingly or unknowingly engages in harmful thoughts, speech, or actions. That the Vibrama, wrong understanding or perception, Dhriti Vibrama, failure of self-restraint, Smriti Vibrama, loss of right memory and discrimination. And wrong indulgence gradually leads to the downfall. Then Sattva Vajra Chikitsa, mind control therapy through conscious restraint and redirection of thoughts and cultivation of virtues. Contemporary significance offers a preventive and promotive framework similar to the modern impulse control therapies, mindfulness, and resilience training. The ultimate aim by avoiding prajnaparada and mastering the mind, one safeguards the health and progresses towards self-realization. These are my references, and thank you for your mindful listening.